an AMI digital exclusive.
My name is Sara Inés Calderón. I am a front-end developer in Austin, Texas, and I'm also director of Women Who Code Austin, a local meetup here with about 2,400 women, and I'm here with my collaborator, Holly Gibson.
Hi, I'm Holly Rachel Gibson, and I work with Sara Inés with Women Who Code, and we're really excited to be here at South by Southwest 2017. We're here at Lady Bird Lake. It's behind us, and there's kind of some wooded trees around us, Texas oak. There's joggers behind us and cyclists enjoying the 10 miles of trails that we have here in Austin. Come visit us. It's a great place to live.
Hold that thought, Holly. Here comes a jogger.
Ah, traffic.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So I work at Praxent, and we build custom software for all types of industries. So I've done mobile, web, and desktop applications. I really focused on, how is software accessible? Because when I got into the software engineer industry, a lot of people weren't talking about it. But because of my background helping people with disabilities, I ran camps for children with disabilities and a grant program. Because of that knowledge that I had when I got into this industry, I was just like, software sucks for people with disabilities, and we need to make this better.
Yeah, and I kind of had a similar issue. So my name is Sara Inés Calderón. I have two names in my first name, Sara and Inés. Inés has an accent on the E, and Calderón also has an accent on the O. And so I end up in a situation where a lot of websites can't interpret my name correctly. It's not super hard or super time consuming or super difficult to make these changes. And a good point that Holly brought up is that it ends up making you have better SEO. If you don't have any accessibility at all, it gives you better SEO. And then I think in the case of specifically minding what character set you're using to be able to decode special characters, it ends up giving you kind of an added security feature as well. So these are actually things that are not only good out of the goodness of our hearts because we want to be inclusive and accessible, but good business decisions. And so we really just kind of want to further that conversation as well.
Here in the US, 12.6% of the population is affected by a disability. And so that's 39 million people, that you could be excluding from your service. And with different, laws here in the U.S., you could be legally required to make things accessible for them. So if, you don't want to do it out of the goodness of your heart, at least do it so you don't get sued. Target had to pay $9 million to get their website fixed. It's something we want to talk about not only, in society, but also in software. How is software inclusive to, people of different cultures, people of different religions and preferences. And so, these are all things we need to think about, because when you're not in that person's shoes, you don't know what their experience is like. And so we're trying to show people, what is it like to be someone who's colorblind trying to use software, or someone who is hearing impaired, and once they see what that terrible experience is like, they realize, wow, we need to fix this.
Sure. Quick side note about this Congress Bridge that's behind us. It's a bridge that goes over, part of Congress Avenue is a bridge that goes over Lady Bird Lake, and it's a big tourist attraction here in town because there's all of these Mexican short-tail bats.
Yeah, we have one of the largest populations of urban bats. I think 800,000 bats live in this bridge.
They live underneath the bridge, and so it stinks like guano when you walk under the bridge, but it's kind of a cool thing to see at night. They come out and they eat all the mosquitoes, so they're your friends.
Please eat the mosquitoes. There's too many. Well, I started Women Who Code 4 years ago with 10 women, and now we've grown to over 2,400. Mainly it was just me being there and talking to people and talking about my own experience and encouraging them. And it's really grown grassroots because we never, want it to be this big thing. It was just like, we want to help people. And so if you start a meetup in your town, you can meet once a month, you can meet once a quarter, and just start the conversation and, connect with other groups online. Sure. You can come and talk to us. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Sure, you can find us on Meetup, Women Who Code Austin. To Holly's point, you don't necessarily need to have some sort of organizational structure like Women Who Code to get together and write inclusive and accessible technology. You can just decide, hey, this is something that's important to me. We're starting a project at my company. We're all going to get together and make this happen. Let's find some resources.
Yeah.
So,
be the change.
Be the change.
Visit ami.ca for more accessible media.